Hi, I'm Steven at Newline Products, and this is the Ideamax R5 Series Interactive Whiteboard. Today I'm going to go through a brief overview of Ideamax, its features, and the basic technology that make it possible. Now, above me is a BenQ short throw projector, situated about 2 feet in front of me and mounted from the ceiling. All that's doing is projecting an image from the computer, which is connected by a USB cable to the Ideamax board. The projector is merely throwing the image onto the board, which is simply an input device. You can think of it as a giant mouse pad on the wall. So while I can move my finger around on it, it's not actually displaying anything on its own. Ideamax uses an infrared technology to plot your finger on the board itself. Infrared lasers embedded in the trim around the board plot your finger on an x-axis and a y-axis to tell the computer where you're trying to point. Now, the markers that we include, while they can be used to draw on the board itself, they don't actually have any technology in them. The markers themselves are completely hollow. The optical tray down here actually detects when a marker is removed from its holder and switches the color accordingly. So by picking up a blue marker, I can tell the board to switch into a blue writing mode. Now, the markers aside, we can also do a fair amount with our finger. Because the board uses infrared, it doesn't matter what object we're using. For example, if I grab this water bottle off the table, I can still use this to switch into interactive mode and draw on the board just the same. If I want to use my finger, we can draw with a finger, or we can hold a finger or a pen down to right-click on the board and have full mouse functionality to switch into properties or context menus of any sort. The board's porcelain enamel surface makes it extremely durable. It's resistant to scratching, banging, comes with a 50-year warranty, and is writable with dry erase markers. Now, I'm going to move into some of the basic functions of the interactive whiteboard by switching us into interactive whiteboard mode. So coming into this mode, we start off with a blank gray screen, which can quickly be replaced with a black screen. And on that black screen, I can grab any of our markers here. We have 3 on our tray, a red, a black, and a blue, and begin writing, as you would on a regular marker board. Now, as you switch from marker to marker, the color of your writing actually changes. So I can pick up a blue marker and switch into a blue writing mode. Now, the stylus itself actually doesn't have any technology in it. It's actually a hollow piece of plastic that you could easily lose and replace with a stick from your backyard. But the tray itself has optical sensors in each holder that tell the board when a marker has been replaced. By removing the red marker, I've simply told the board that the red marker isn't in its place and therefore must be in my hand. Ideamax comes default with several backgrounds for educators to use. For example, a soccer coach might want to illustrate some plays to his players and can do so perfectly using red for one team, picking up the blue marker, and switching to blue for the opposing team. If a player happens to be absent from practice, the coach can simply export this into a PDF document and send it to them by email. Another great feature is our music staff, which a music instructor can use to illustrate notes, which I cannot draw. Some other useful backgrounds Ideamax comes with are graphing paper and spelling lines. As we mentioned before, Ideamax software is running on a standard PC and is therefore compatible with most other standard software. For example, we can load Google Earth and use Ideamax to maneuver around the globe and adjust our position. We can also zoom in, zoom out, and annotate on the globe itself. The annotate feature, which is my personal favorite, allows you to mark up existing software and make changes to it with an interactive overlay. For example, if I switch into a PowerPoint slide, I can then use the interactive whiteboard to make markings on the PowerPoint slide itself. As we move through the PowerPoint, we can continue to make markings on it, highlight, underline, or use the included laser pointer to bring added emphasis to an important part of the presentation. When you're finished making your notes, you can simply go to export and turn the file into a PDF document and email it to anybody who couldn't be in attendance at the particular class or meeting. The annotate mode can also be used for applications outside of PowerPoint. So if I hold our pen down on the screen, it'll activate our right-click mode, which we can use to end our PowerPoint presentation, and now I'll switch us into a different application. So I'm going to exit out of PowerPoint and open up Firefox. And again, because the software is on the PC like any other software, it's fully compatible with other applications like Microsoft Office. For example, if we wanted to open up Wikipedia, the interactive whiteboard will quickly allow students to search for various topics and read about them on screen in front of the entire class. Now let's say you wanted to play a math game and you happen to find a random math game on the internet somewhere. You could simply use the board to play this game, and again, no special software required, nothing complicated going on here. It's just a random game we found on Google that happens to be compatible, like all software will be, with the Ideamax Interactive Whiteboard. Now remembering the interactivity, you can still take this into annotate mode and use it to draw on the math game itself. So any application that you might be using, regardless of whether you're in the interactive whiteboard software or not, is still compatible with the interactive features of the board. Another great Ideamax feature is the intelligent pen, which is capable of detecting an attempt to draw shapes and fixing those shapes for you. For example, a wobbly triangle instantly becomes a straight triangle. A circle becomes a better circle. It can also be used for things like arrows and curvy arrows. Now that's about it for our basic overview. In the coming videos, we'll take a more in-depth look at some of the features we've already discussed, as well as some of the more advanced features with the Ideamax Interactive Whiteboard.